Now calling George Adam to be followed by Margaret McCulloch.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I welcome this interim report and the debate and the consensual tone of the debate, and I'm going to try and do my best to ensure that I continue that. Change the habits of a lifetime, some might say, but ensure that we can, because it means too much to us all. As Gavin Brown quite rightly stated, the prize is ensuring that we do create the future for our young people, and some of the things that have been mentioned in this report are extremely important. The interim report for the Commission for Developing Scotland's Young Workforce highlights in 21st century Scotland, both academic and vocational education are critically important, and we need to develop high-quality vocational education leading to industry-relevant qualifications alongside academic studies. Now, much of that's been actually something we've discussed during this debate today, is to ensure that we actually have a way where it can it's joined up for the young person to go through the process. And the report also acknowledges that a number of important changes are already underway, including the Curriculum for Excellence that's developing broader skills in schools, larger colleges, focusing on regional labour markets with a greater emphasis on employment outcomes, and the 25,000 employed in modern apprenticeships per year. These are all things that the report's already acknowledged, that things are moving forward with the Scottish Government, and it's ensuring that our young people gain the knowledge and a sustainable vocation and giving them the foundation for their own future to ensure that they can actually live the life that they want. The Minister, Angela Constance, mentioned many of the successes that we've had at the moment, but as everyone else keeps saying here, this isn't the end of the journey, this is the beginning. She is one of the only youth employment ministers in the whole of Europe. So, we've made such great progress in our time in the post. We have to ensure that we keep things moving forward as well. And this report helps along these lines as well. Kevin Stewart also mentioned the fact that, we don't mention good practice and good news an awful lot. And I think that's true. I think we have to be positive and say that there's a lot of good things out there, because it is far too easy to be quite, when we see the challenges that we face, to actually say that it's quite difficult out there. But I'd like to mention some of the aspects of the report which actually talks about some of the positive aspects that are happening. And it just so happens that the two I'm going to mention are from Paisley. But it's the Renfrewshire Chamber of Commerce. They're working with all the schools in the county area, making sure that the Chamber is working with the Education Department in a partnership agreement, possibly working with other businesses as well within their membership, possibly helping with Mr Brown's idea of SMEs, working with younger people, making sure they're getting this access. And this has been extremely successful locally, and it's been one of the things that's been mentioned in the interim report as good practice and something that we should look at maybe wider as well. And I take on board what Kevin Stewart says as well, that sometimes we have to make sure that we do talk about these things so that they do get used elsewhere. Like one of the other things that's happening locally in my area, which is mentioned in the report, is West College Scotland's work placement for learners with additional needs. Young people with additional support needs are supported by West College Scotland through work experience. The students are given maximum support to enable them to make choices and to participate in meaningful placements and challenging learning and teaching with strong focus on developing their life skills and work. Now, that's extremely important. One of the things that the Cabinet Secretary will be aware of is, yes, no problem.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I've got my own little Paisley statistic here. I wondered whether the member thinks it's good news that there are 150 fewer young people at Reid Care College and 837 fewer women at Reid Care College than there were 5 years ago.
George Adam.
I would say to the member that the most important thing is that we deal with the situation we have in hand and actually move things forward. And I would say West College Scotland are doing an extremely good job in their area to try and develop things. I wouldn't listen to anyone who was trying to talk down the West College Scotland, because one of the things that the Cabinet Secretary actually saw was when he came along, there was actually a plumbing course that people were doing, learning the modern apprenticeship scheme. But not only, it was so much of the curriculum for excellence that it actually was so involved that not only did they teach all the young people to be plumbers, they actually got to the stage where when they had some of the extra material that was left over, they actually did some art projects with that as well. And you ended up with some, well, I know the Cabinet Secretary may be getting a delivery of one of the art projects as well, because it was what does Scotland mean to you? And he came along and saw it, and it just showed, different, making people actually think, not just learn the trade, but actually the whole idea of the curriculum for excellence, to be able to actually think everything through and see tick all, not just a box-ticking exercise, but being able to actually show what they can offer and achieve. And for me, these are the exciting, dynamic things that are making a difference in our communities. You know, the Commission itself recommends to build on the success of the Scottish Government's strengthening and reform of further education. And I think some of the things I've already mentioned has actually highlighted a lot of that. But what you have to say to yourself, Scotland's modern apprenticeship scheme has delivered 25,691 modern apprenticeships starts in 2012-13, and the Scottish Government's offered to deliver at least 25,000 modern apprenticeship starts per year in the life of this government. Now, these are good things. This is actually moving things forward, and I don't want to... obviously, the Cabinet Secretary mentioned at the Education Committee today about the years gone by where we had a lost generation, you know, when the other governments there, and he was very, very polite and gentle with it, but I don't want to go back to the dim, dark days of Thatcherism, where we actually had a situation where there was a generation lost. I would say in closing that I welcome this report, Presiding Officer, the interim report, and some of the recommendations on how we can actually move things forward. The Government has done so much just now. It's a case of us all working together, staying focused, and ensuring that we can make these outcomes happen for the young people in Scotland.
Excellent. Many, many thanks.